Alright gang, welcome back to our Farm Maze Challenge here on Riverbend Springs. It is now September, so we skipped a month there, but that's okay. There's not a ton to do today, even though we skipped a month. There's not a ton to do. One thing we do need to do, though, is bring these planks over here. We need planks long, which is what this is, to continue our construction project here. That just randomly spawned now, which is a little weird, but okay, whatever. Let's see if I can get this thing to... You know I always have an issue with this thing whenever I try to put these on the ground. There we go. Okay. Perfect. Planks long. It's moving along nicely here. We've got a good structure built now. Not sure what we're going to need when it comes to the shingles and stuff. If there are shingles, I don't know. Maybe we just need metal. Maybe it's just a metal roof. I don't know. Anyway, we're moving along there nicely on that. Now, other than that, gang, there is nothing else for us to do today. What we are going to do, though, is we're going to... I've already worked on a few of them. I've brought a couple of the trees up here. We're going to get the rest of the trees and bring them up here. Get them out of the way. And I think what we're going to do is consider... putting down our greenhouse area over here like we talked about, right? I've been kind of wishy-washy on what I wanted to do over here. We went to greenhouses, then it was, I don't know if we're going to have enough room for greenhouses, and then it was extend the field, and blah-de-blah-de-blah. Long story short, we're going to do greenhouses down here. It's going to take some work. Now, I'm going to attempt to do it without getting rid of any stumps. Now, the biggest problem we have is there are a few stumps that are massive. I'm going to have to try to trim those down if I can. And then I'll utilize the, you know, the button where it allows us to place something even if there's something in the way. And hopefully we can kind of cover up some of the stumps with the greenhouses and still have enough room for us to make a bit of a track back here, etc. But we still got a lot of trees to get back. As you can tell, we've got the big dogs still here, especially this guy right here. This guy's going to be a pain. Just going to try to pull him out a little bit further here. I'm going to try to trim him down a little bit. Not going to be probably the best quality material for you to watch, but we need to try to trim him down a little bit and then maybe even, you know, cut him in half potentially. There's just a lot going on here on this tree, so. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully you're doing well. There's a lot of this that I don't know if it's going to let me get rid of it or not. Some of those branches that are kind of... They're there, but they're really invisible. So it doesn't really let you get rid of them. These ones that really don't have a very good rendering. Those are kind of like invisible branches or whatever. But we'll find out, I guess. Now, there is one thing we're going to do today. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and do it because we might lose it. There is a fertilizing contract right here, really close to us, so we're going to do that one. There's also a harvesting, which we may consider doing. I thought this one was this one we'd have to lease the equipment, which I'm not necessarily against. We haven't done peas yet, so that's something we could potentially try. But anyway, we're going to do this fertilizing contract. You guys know I love fertilizing, so it's $1,270 for us. It's nice. It's real close to us. So let's go ahead and accept that. And we'll do that a little bit later on. I want to try to get rid of this, at least this big tree. There's still that one over there, but I want to get this one out of the way if we can help it. Now, we're getting a lot of trees, a lot of logs, a lot of wood up in the yard, and you might be asking, well, what are you going to do with all that? I don't know yet. Realistically, we might sell a couple of them, but, I mean, more than likely, I'd like to... you know, try to keep as many of them as I can. Because it's going to make us more money if we just hold off and try to, you know, go the path of turning it into the sawmill. Now, the biggest problem with the sawmill we have right now is it's you know, the small sawmill, so it takes a very long time to make anything. Now we're into a little bit of the invisible stuff here where I'm not really able to get a whole lot of it to remove, unfortunately. That just got a big one out of there. That's good. That helped out a lot. All right, we're getting closer here, gang. We just got to get up there on those. Those are going to be a little difficult. I'm probably going to have to flip the log around here for me to really be able to get those. I don't know how I'm going to else be able to chop those down. I think the biggest problem we're going to have here is trying to get this across that bridge. I don't think it's going to be possible. So I think we're going to try our approach that I talked about towards the end of the last episode. If you watched that one, let me zoom out here a little bit. It's going to be hard to see. If we go down this way, I'm able to kind of cut through the creek here, and I'm able to get through this way. It's not perfect, but it works. I have to drive through a little bit of the neighbor's yard, or neighbor's field here. But again, it works. Alright. I'm going to zoom out even further because this thing is massive. Now when we get it up to the yard, we'll try to see if we can flip it on its side and get rid of some of the other branches there. If we get rid of those, it's still a big tree, but it's not as imposing as it currently is. So yeah, this is the field right here to the left that we're going to be doing the fertilizing contract on. Rain's in the forecast here soon. Is there anything out in the used market for us? This is nice. However, we don't have any kind of skid steer or anything like we would utilize for that. I'm not sure. You may actually be able to put that on a tractor and do it. But the big problem is, as in on this series, right, if we purchase that, which I'm not saying we won't, but if we purchase that, we have to keep it, right? And I don't know how much more tree work we're going to be doing on this series, with the exception of whatever we have left remaining to do on our shed, right? That's really the only main tree wood forestry work we're going to be doing on this series, so I don't really think we necessarily need it. I feel like that would be a big waste of money in the long run. Certainly would help, you know, with the whole mindset of doing the greenhouses or extending the field even, because obviously you'd want to get rid of those stumps if you're extending the field, right? But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to do, I guess, with the stumps. That's why I'm kind of once again leaning towards doing the greenhouse approach. Because even though the stumps may still be there, I should be able to put some of the greenhouses on top of the stumps with that. And then just kind of drive around or make a track around some of the stumps that won't have a greenhouse on it, right? Alright, well, I wasn't able to flip that on its side like I wanted to. I don't think it's gonna... Maybe it will. Maybe it will. No, it's still just trying to chop it all down. Yeah, it's not. Not even gonna let me do it, unfortunately. Well, some of it, I guess. I got rid of some of it, so I guess it's better than none, but... Still need to flip this thing on its side somehow. And I think what we're going to do that is try... I don't know if I can get the winch up that high, but if we can winch one of those branches up top, it should pull it down. Nope. Never mind. Oh well. Well, we got some of it, I guess. So let's take a break doing some tree work here, some forestry work here. Let's get the fertilizer spreader out, and we can put some fertilizer down on the ground over there on our field that we have the contract with. Make a little bit of money. All right, we are underway here, gang. Now, it should be another situation where we can just drive straight down the middle here, and we'll take care of it all. Nothing major to worry about as far as doing multiple passes or anything like that, so it's a quick, easy $1,000+ for us. I was hoping to see, you know, some kind of water tank or something in the used market, but I never get lucky in the used market, so... Well, having said that, I did get lucky, I guess, on the... Well, I don't know if lucky is the way to answer to you, or the word to utilize there, but I did find a nice windrower on the Survival Challenge series on New Frontier. It was very expensive, but we did find that, so that was nice. And since that series is heavy on grass, it was a really good investment. All right, so that's done. Let's go ahead and quick save here, obviously, and then we'll collect that $1,270. Okay, we've got all kinds of stuff out here now. There's a lot more than what we started at with. So potentially there's a nice harvest contract for us. So this one, that's a corn harvest. It's a large corn harvest. We could do that. 7,275. That's not terrible. I don't want to just sit here and do contracts all day. I've been doing a lot of contracts on a lot of the different series, minus the Survival Challenge lately. Sometimes there's not a whole lot else you can really do but that when it's this early on and this limited with the amount of pieces of equipment that are cheap, right? And when the fields are expensive, you're limited sometimes. It's just, it is what it is. So maybe we do that contract too. We'll see. We'll think about it. But the interim, let's go down there. Let's get that last big tree out of the way. Then we've got some small twigs and things we got to move. And then we'll see about putting down a greenhouse or two. And now we're probably only going to really be able to put down the smaller greenhouses in that area. As I showed you towards the last episode, right? There's not a ton of space. I thought there was a lot more room than there really is. Without doing a lot of land modification, there's not much room, I should say. So it's probably going to be the smaller greenhouses, but that's fine. So we probably could put down a couple of those. We don't have a ton of money, right? But probably 2 of them. But we'll see, right? We'll see. Let's get this last tree up here. I won't put this on camera or anything. I'll just kind of do this off camera. You've seen me do this a lot, and I just did it big time with that big, massive tree, so it's not that exciting work, and sometimes it can be a little nauseating, so at least it looks like it to me when I'm going back and doing the edit and chopping things out and removing things, so. That is a massive guy. Okay. I don't know how much of that I actually got, but... Alright, I'll get this done, gang, and I'll see you here in a bit. Alright, almost all of them are gone there, gang. I got this one twig here, and there's a ton... Well, I say twig, this is more like a branch, but... there's a ton of twigs here. It's a massive pile of them. There's still some out here. They're kind of stuck in the ground. I'm going to have to work on them a little bit. Case in point, this one right here closest to us. I can't get it out of the ground, so we're going to have to work on that one a little bit. There's a couple other ones in here, but for the most part, everything is gone. Now, I was able to chop down this stump more. However, I'm not able to, for whatever reason, winch these pieces of stump. So I think I'm going to have to go get a little creative here, and it's probably not going to work, but I'm probably going to have to get the pallet forks and try to pick them up that way and bring them back. It's probably going to have to be kind of one at a time. I can't pick them up by hand or anything like that, so unfortunately, we're going to have to work around that for a little while, but it seems like most of this is done now, so that's good, right? If we go over here and do a bird's eye view, you're going to see more. I'm going to definitely miss some, But a lot of these ones that you're seeing here, these are ones that are stuck in the ground. There's not really a whole lot I can do about it. So let's get started. Long story short, let's put down a greenhouse. Now, I don't really care what we put down. Mushrooms would make the most sense. I think they make us the most money. 36 for a big dog. If I turn that on, it allows me to put it down. This is what I was talking about, right? If I turn on the free mode, it would cause a lot of land deformation here. But it's in the back, so I don't think I'm as concerned about the stuff in the back. Perhaps we just do one big one for now, and then, you know, as we kind of expand this way with them, we can make smaller ones. But the initial thought I had was to kind of line them like this, kind of going around like this to about here, right? And then maybe do another row somewhere in the middle here, like this. And then I don't know if there's going to be any room for anything here, but that's kind of what my initial thought was on this. So I think maybe we still go with that approach. But the problem is I don't want to make it... no matter what we do, we're going to have some land deformation here, and I don't want it to be too extreme where I can't really turn around, if that makes any sense. I don't know if that makes sense or not, what I'm saying to you. Not really probably explained it as well as I should, but long story short here, if I use the little cursor here, and if I'm coming up here and I'm driving here, right, and I've got one here, see how this is kind of falling towards the river as it would, right, as the ground normally would. If I put it here, it's going to make a big, massive land deformation square like this, so it's going to be probably difficult to get up there. So that's why I'm now kind of reconsidering that, and perhaps we go about it this way, because if I do it this way and I go to probably here, I guess, it's still going to have land deformation there, isn't it? Then perhaps we need to go about it this way, where we go like this and just kind of wrap them around like this, around the back side here. I think you're going to have land deformation no matter what we do with that. Ooh, there's a piece there that I missed. But that might be better. That might be better. The big problem here is that stump is absolutely 100% in the way here. I don't think there's a whole lot I can do about it. I can try to move this back further, excuse me. I've got a bit of an issue with my controller right now, so you have to bear with me for a minute, gang. And plus, I wish I was on, I wish I had PC for this, because I could really try to finite the area where I could actually place it. That's not terrible. I think that's far enough away. I think the stump is actually... I think the stump is actually a little bit further ahead, so I think we could get a tractor past it without really running into it. And that's relatively flat. It would take up most of our money. I said I was going to do 2 small ones, but this is the same price for 2 small ones versus a big one, so what's the difference? I decided to move the tractor down here. I just want to make sure that all those statements I was just telling you is correct. It appears to be that way, but I don't want to put it down there and I was wrong about where the stump is. Yeah. So if I leave the tractor here, I'll just push these out of the way a little bit. If I leave the tractor here, it gives me an idea, right, where I should and shouldn't be putting this. Because I want enough room. I don't mind the stump being there because I don't think I'm going to have any way to get rid of it unless we buy that stump grinder, which I don't really want to do. So I think here, if I leave the tractor around there, we have an idea. We know that's the kind of room we need. Does it work? I'm going to have to reset all this up again, so bear with me for a minute. I mean, only just does it work. Only just. It would be a tight squeeze. I think we can make it work. I think we can make it work. We can make it work. So we probably can put some smaller ones over here to the left now, right? Kind of line them that way, going that way, and maybe put 2 big ones back here. Having the understanding that they're going to cause massive land deformation in the back, but again, not that big of a deal. As you can see, it's kind of floating back here, but, I mean, you're not really going to see that most of the time. Okay, so that'll work. So we need a water tank. No water tank out there, of course there's not. Why would there be? Why would they ever help me? We're probably going to go with the small one for now, which, you know what, that's fine. We're not going to have a big, massive complex. I mean, I guess it's going to be a relatively decent size, but all things considered, it's not going to be that big, right? I do not want to pay for rim color. I thought that was the other color. I always forget that it's just the rim color on this one. So let's just buy it. It's $5,850. It's not terrible. Still leaves us a little bit amount of money. A little bit of money. Not a little bit amount of money. Leaves us a little bit of money. Okay. I'm going to drop off the winch. I'll head up to the shop. We'll pick up the water tank. We'll bring it back here. Fill it up with some water. Man, I'm losing my voice all of a sudden. Fill it up with some water. And we can get the greenhouses going, gang. Or the greenhouse going. Alright, we're pulling back up here. Moment of truth, if we can get water out of the stream. I think we can. We did kind of run a similar type of test on Huntan Pantai. It allows us to get it out of the little troughs there, the little runoff troughs. Well, I guess it comes from a creek, I guess, so I guess it's just a creek that they put cement through. I'm assuming that it's probably not going to let me. It does not let you. Alright, well, good thing that the river is literally right here. Otherwise, we'd have to put down something for some water. But with the river right here, not a big deal at all. Just kind of hang out here in the dogtails. It's going to take quite a few trips here. This is a massive one. We're utilizing these on the Survivor 25 series, so it's going to take a lot to get this sucker filled up. We can go ahead and get it started here. Activate. And for now, we're just going to put them all on selling. I don't know. I'm going to be completely transparent and honest with you, all of you, like I normally am. Right or wrong. I don't know if there is any kind of production for mushrooms yet. You would assume there is, but I don't know. I don't know that answer. So we might look into that in the future. But for now, we're just going to utilize this as hopefully a little bit of a cash cow for us and making us some money over time, right? So it actually only takes 7,000 liters. I thought it took a lot more than 7,000 liters. Oh well. Still, it's a number of back and forth trips here for us with the water tank. So knowing that I have to go to the river here, I'm going to have to leave... I'll just run into the tree there, see? I'm going to leave a little bit of space to either put a track down here or whatever I decide to do. You also might have noticed that I did lose a little bit of money since I last left you. That's because I did fill up the tractor with gas. We were down at the shop. We might as well go ahead and knock out that. So we did. Oh, whoa! Yeah, we're getting really close. Yep, there we go. Full. Nice. Alright, so let's drop that off there. Just leave that there for now. We'll deal with a lot of this area later on. I mean, that's a mess of twigs. There's probably a lot of them that I moved them over here, and they're now stuck in the ground too. For whatever reason, they keep getting stuck in the ground. Eventually, it's not going to be today, unfortunately, but I want to build some kind of a track coming back here, but we need to have a little bit better idea of where that track's going to go. I don't want to just put it in and then, you know, put something over top of it. We got to redo it. So we need to get a few more greenhouses and a few more, at least a little bit more of this area all kind of hashed out, sorted out before we put that in. But certainly, we'll probably put tiny bit of a turn right here, as sharp of a turn as I can make it here. We'll try to make something there and then have some more greenhouses coming this way or something else. Maybe we put animals. Who knows what we do? Probably not, though. We've got chickens already, so probably not any more animals. But anyway, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But probably put at least one more of these big greenhouses here and then leave this space open for a little track down here to the river. Something like that. And just run right into all of them there, Z. Good job, dummy. Oh my gosh. I'm an idiot. Alright. So, what are we going to do with the remainder of today? Well, we can look at those contracts that I talked about, right? We might do one of those. There are a number of them now. There's a lot. Let's see. What do we got here? What do we got? This is that big one that we could have did. We probably should have had the worker start on that earlier, but I don't really love any of these, if I'm honest with you. What about the hoeing? That's a massive field there. But that really wouldn't take us too long, I don't think, given the size of our hoe. It's a similar field to the one we did, I think, in the last episode, right? Didn't we do a similar size? Was it this guy? Yeah. Yeah, that's a very similar size. This might be slightly bigger down here, but that is far away, though, too. What else we got? Anything else? Spraying, which we don't have any sprayers, so we can't really do that. Although this one, a $200... Wow, just reward reduces only by 200? We could make 15 grand pretty quickly if we utilize the same equipment here. I might be on for that one there, gang. That's some good money. 15 grand. That's a really good money. That'd almost give us enough to get another greenhouse already. I mean, that's a big field, and both of these are... Well, they're not really on opposite ends, but they're pretty far away from each other. It's this field here, and then down here. So it's not that far away from each other, I guess. Let's do it. Let's do it. We haven't utilized that piece of equipment at all. Sounds fun. You guys know I like spraying and fertilizing. One of my favorite things to do. So let's borrow the items to make sure I click the right thing. Borrow the items. And accept. Okay, we got both of them. So let me put the tractor away. I'll head down to the shop. I'll pick everything up, and I will see you probably... We'll probably do the smaller field first. I'll see you at the first field. We're going to have to buy some spraying, some fertilizer, or herbicide, excuse me. We're going to have to buy some herbicide. Might mean that some of that stays at the shop, because we might not utilize all of it, but that's okay. In the long run, I think we're going to make $12,000, give or take, after we pay for the herbicide, obviously. Alright, gang, and we are underway. This thing is fantastic. I'd love to have this one on one of the other series that we currently run. I don't necessarily know if we need it for any of the series. Maybe the Houtin Pantai. We've got some relatively large fields there. Otherwise, most of the fields we have aren't that big at current, so it probably wouldn't make a whole lot of sense, but... I wonder if there's a I don't think so. No, there's not. I do know there's a collectible in a barn like that. I couldn't remember exactly where it was, even though I just did that. Well, I recorded the video a long time ago, but I've been trying to edit it for probably the last 2 to 3 weeks. Now, all I did was buy 1 pallet of herbicide. I have a feeling I'm going to need a second one, just looking at how much we're you know, running through here on this smaller field. But that's okay. We can utilize the money we make from this contract to buy a second pallet. Now, the odds are, high odds, I guess I should say, that we are going to have some leftover herbicide. And as I mentioned earlier, that's fine. We can leave it at the shop. At some point down the road, there's a likelihood we either do another one of these contracts where we can utilize it, or we buy a sprayer ourselves, right? One or the two. So, not that concerned about it. One more pass here, we're done, gang. Okay, maybe 2 more passes. All right, let's fold this up. We've got 1,401 liters. It would be really close. I don't think this is going to be enough. I really don't. Do we tempt it? I'm gonna tempt it. I know that doesn't sound like the smartest thing to do. Get out of the way there, see? Get out of the way of the trees there. I'm gonna attempt it. We're gonna see. I have a full... I fully believe we're gonna have to head back to the shop, and if we do, we do, right? We attempted it, we tried, and it didn't work out, but I will see you up there. Probably put a bit of a time lapse in until we run out of herbicide, or we finish the contract. All right, well, we kind of knew that was going to happen, right? But I wanted to give it a shot. I mean, all the gas and everything's included with this, so it doesn't really harm us to try to give it a shot and save ourselves a few bucks. But, oh well, it is what it is. So we went ahead and purchased another pallet of it. What we'll do before we return this is take the actual piece of equipment back to our farm and unload it there, so that way we have the pallet of herbicide there for whenever we need it next. And that way I don't have to drive all the way to the shop if I don't want to. Having said that, I probably should drop it off at the shop now that I'm thinking about it. Because if we're going to do another... Unless we buy a herbicide sprayer, or just a sprayer in general, right? Because if we're going to do a contract with it, right, we're going to have to go to the shop and pick up the equipment anyway. So maybe scratch that whole thing I just said. I'm going to take it to the shop. I'm going to drop it off at the shop. Yeah, we'll drop it off at the shop. Alright, while that's happening, we can go ahead and turn in the other one. Where are they at? Here we go. Collect. Perfect. Like I said, almost back to where we were. Almost. But now with this one, we're going to be well above it, so that's good. I'm not going to collect it, though. I almost collected it. I'm not going to collect it until I'm able to get back to the farm shop. So let's head to the shop, unload this, so we actually have, the herbicide we paid for. We actually will have that for the future. And then we'll collect this contract and move from there. Alright, there we are. We unloaded it. I also did take a peek to make sure there was no other contract that popped up out there for us, because we might as well do it since we had the equipment, but there wasn't. So we'll go ahead and collect this. Boom. Up to 17,229, and that includes putting in a greenhouse. So we're going to leave the episode there, gang. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, smash the like button. Smash the subscribe button if you're new, especially those individuals who have been watching. It's like 70% of you that are watching and are not subscribed. So what are you doing? Hit the subscribe button, man. It's free. Helps me a lot. And more videos on the side. I have now updated the scrolling end credits there, so it's on the side. And until next time, I'll see each and every single one of you in the next episode.